Hey, what is going on there YouTube? This is Robert and today I'm going to be going through the drop list for this week, being week 0 or week 1, whichever one you want to call it, for the first week pretty much of spring summer 20. Now obviously the first week is going to be in store and then next week will be online, just because of the fact that instead of it being a Monday online drop, it's going to be a Thursday online drop, which we're just going to have to wait for. And yeah, the drop list has come out a bit sooner than I was anticipating, but it is out, so we're just going to go straight through it. Okay, so getting straight into this drop list, as per norm, we're going to be using Supreme Community. The main reason for this week specifically it's just because of the amount of items. There are a lot of items, and yeah, some of the things I'll also leave in the comments section, so if you'd like to go and look at any of the retails or anything like that, or look at the list or anything else, I'll just leave everything down below. There are a couple of pieces that aren't on this list yet and that Jay hasn't put out either, and I will just throw them up on screen basically. And yeah, they're just not added yet pretty much, but they'll probably be added by the end of the day, but at least we know what the full list includes in the end. So we haven't got the Miles Davis hoodie on this. We also haven't got the Snakeskin Jackyard shirt. Other than that, we haven't got the Sevens rugby piece. We haven't got the brushed polka dot cardigan, the studded long sleeve top, the logo repeat beanie, Vanson pieces being a jacket, a bomber piece, and another piece aren't on the list yet, but that is it. Other than that, we have the full list. So let's run through things and try not to take too long on them. Like I said, also the retails are going to be down below. I've got a link to somebody who's posted all of them, so yeah, if you'd like to look at what they'll be on there, but they'll probably be on here by the end of tonight or tomorrow. I'll also leave them all down in the comments section, all of the retails in my pinned comment. Today was also meant to be a signing up video, or a how to sign up video. Unfortunately, there are two issues with that. Number one, I didn't record. I just didn't press record because I thought I did, because I was running late, and yeah, I thought I did, I didn't. And the second thing is that my it didn't process anyway, so I wouldn't have had like the screenshot that I would have wanted for like a thumbnail or things. But still, some people say that it still goes through and it's all okay, but I haven't got a text, so I don't think it is, but I'll still probably be going to the drop anyway. So to kick off the list, we obviously have the glow in the dark Zippo. These will probably change by the end of today, just because of the pure fact that the two-part piece was at the top. It's just that these pieces don't have as many dislikes currently. But yeah, we have the glow in the dark Zippo kicking things off. We then have the Nalgene, I'll go with 32-ounce bottle, and then we have the Leatherman rebar. I saw that the retail on the rebar is like $100+, so even if it does release in the like UK or EU, I'm still not going to be going for that, because 100, I will leave it be. I am tempted next week though to either go for one of the Zippo or the bottle, but I think I might just go easy next week and just pick up a couple of pieces for the personal and leave it at that. Moving on, obviously we have the Tupac hologram tee that's coming out. A lot of mixed opinions on this from people. Obviously a lot of people are happy about it, but at the same time the sort of rating out of 10 that it got across the board was about a 6, just because of the pure fact that it's good, but it could have been better. Like, there's a lot that could have been done with it and a lot more that could have been done, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. We then have the Newmark portable turntable that is going to be releasing as well. I've seen a lot of people also want this piece, so yeah, there's going to be a lot of pieces that people want for the personal this week for sure. On the side of resale, I'm not really going to be able to gauge things currently, because the best thing to do is just to wait for the drop to actually happen, and then we'll be able to see how things are if they're added to StockX and such, see how they're doing on that, and then by next week everyone will probably have a decent view as to what is going to resell and what isn't. Next up we have the distorted logo skateboard, another piece that a lot of people really want. They either want it to skate or to hang up, and yeah, I can understand why. It is one of the better skateboards that is coming out. Personally for me, I have my eye on the Motion skateboard instead, but this is another good one. We then obviously have all of the tees from the lookbook that are going to be releasing, and one of them is obviously going to be the shop tee. At first I saw people have quite a negative view on this, but now that's sort of done like a full 180. And yeah, now people really want it. We then have the Tupac hologram skateboard releasing. This, in my view, is a lot better than the tee, just because it makes full use of the hologram over the tee, and yeah, I just think it looks a lot better. We then have the S logo sweatshirt that is going to be releasing, or the S logo hoodie, this time with a quilted embroidered logo on it. Again, a lot of people are happy with this piece and looking forward to it. We normally get quite a couple of S logo pieces throughout the year, and yeah, this is just another one that people are happy with. We then have the backpack releasing. Again, a piece that people really want, to be honest, in the end. Personally, for me, I think that the main colourway being this like dark blue with the sort of like camo-ish look to it, or like I think they called it chocolate chip last season, so maybe this will be ice chip, snow chip, I don't know. But yeah, people really want it. We then have an overdyed beanie releasing. Again, I'm a fan of a lot of beanies, but I probably won't be going for this one. I've got my eyes set on like 2 or 3 of the beanies from this season, and yeah, this could be one of them, but I think I'm going to leave it be in the end. We then have the paint logo tee releasing. Again, another piece that people really want for the personal. A lot of us are waiting to see how the other colours look with this piece before deciding as to whether we'll be going for it or not, but I think it's definitely one of the top tees that people are after. Standard, we've got the Hanes boxer briefs releasing, so it's not really anything much to say about them. We then have the faux fur varsity jacket releasing this week, which, to be honest, I've seen a lot of people actually be quite happy with and they're looking forward to. Personally, for me, I'm not really much of a faux fur person. I'm a varsity jacket person, you know, I like the layout and everything and how it looks, but I'm just not really a faux fur person. So for me personally, I'm not going to be going for it, but I definitely see people like wanting it and wanting to wear it. We then have the cherries tee. Obviously, it's standard that the tees are going to be releasing, but yeah, this one's a little bit further down on the list. We then have the Gore-Tex Anorak, which I've seen a lot of people really want. Mainly in the more vibrant colourways, people are after it, or mainly just the 2 colourways on the right side here. But yeah, I could still see the other 2 possibly going in the end, but definitely just the front 2 colourways are what people are wanting. We then have the Rawlings Catcher's Chest Protector. Obviously I went for the Catcher's Mask a little bit ago when it released. I would say that I'd be going for this to then complete the collection, but I just probably wouldn't be using it at the end of the day, and it might end up bricking just in the UK, EU sort of area, just because baseball isn't really a main sport that is played. So yeah. Obviously standard again, we're going to have the small shoulder bag, or just the bags in general releasing this week. Again, the same sort of colourway is wanted, and in the shoulder bag in general, people are just after it. We then have the military camp cap releasing. Again, I pretty much would just say the main colourway being the blue, or like snow chip colourway, I'm going to call it, is what people will probably take this piece in. We then have the nameplate 14 karat gold pendant releasing. Pendants and chains and things that Supreme released don't really do a lot for me personally, but I did see a lot of people say that they did want this. So we then have the waist bag coming out. Obviously the same thing as I've said for the other bags. The main colourway that people have wanted is going to be this one. I do like the waist bag this time. I'm not a massive fan of mesh this season specifically because it is very overused, but yeah, I do like the bag. We then have the bird call releasing. And obviously standard again, we've got the crew socks, or the Hanes crew socks releasing. To match the hoodie, we've got the S logo sweatpant coming out. I am a fan of sort of like the dark navy, the pinky peach colour and the forest green colourway in the S logo piece, but yeah. We then have the New York sweater releasing, which I was a fan of. I'm a fan of a couple of the sweaters and pieces this season. A lot of people weren't too happy with the fact that it says New York then Supreme on the back. They would have preferred Supreme then New York, but I think either way it's fine, and it is just a nice sweater. We then have the Mary hoodie coming out. This piece I was a bit mixed on. I think that it looks okay. I think in a couple of the other colourways it might look a bit better overall, but we'll just have to wait and see how it actually looks. We then have the known as hoodie. This piece we've known about for about 3 weeks now, so it's nothing insanely special, and a lot of people have said that it'll probably just go to pieces from it being at the seams, and with it being in the general like shoulder area, that it's just going to get absolutely destroyed. We then have the tee that I'm probably wanting to pick up, which is going to be the Laugh Now tee. I think that's a really cool graphic, a really cool piece. I like the fact that you've got something on the front and something on the back, and yeah, it ticks all the boxes for me personally. We've then got the bling tee. It doesn't really do too much for me personally. It's probably like one of the bottom tees in my sort of opinion. And yeah, overall it just doesn't do a lot for me. We then have the big duffel bag, which should probably be further down on the list because it's just horrendous. I could understand if you would be able to have something to sort of peel away to then show the mesh, to then show inside the bag, but just to not have that option and just have a complete mesh bag is just not a great idea. We then have the $1 million metallic box logo New Era. Personally for me it doesn't really do anything. It's quite basic, and yeah, that's pretty much it. We're then moving into the last couple of teas, one of them being the Black Cat tee, which a lot of people are after. I did like as well because I like the sort of more animated look to it and graphic. We then have the Naomi tee that is coming out as well, which I thought would actually be higher up on the list, but it's not. Same as the duffel bag, the utility pouch. It's just a yikes, like it's not amazing, but it's not as important as the duffel bag because the duffel bag's a lot larger, so the utility pouch would probably go in a bag, but yeah. We then have the reflective cutout hoodie. It doesn't really do anything amazing for me personally. I do think that just the standard grey colourway does look nice though. Obviously, again, Hanes tagless tees, very standard, very basic. We then have the Loved by the Children tee, which, yeah, a lot of people just didn't have a great view of. If it didn't have the text, a lot of people said they'd probably buy it, but because it's got the text, it's a no-go. We then have the panelled track jacket releasing, which I actually did like, sort of, specifically mainly in the blue or light blue colourway, or maybe baby blue colourway. I think that it just looks quite nice, and then obviously, yeah, this colourway is going to be classed as the Gucci colourway, so that will probably sell for that reason and that reason alone. To match that, we then have the panelled track pant as well, which again, I think that the blue looks really nice in, and obviously the Gucci. Yeah. We're on to the pieces that don't have as much hype to them and not as much going for them, and yeah, because of that we're just going to go through them a bit quicker. We've got the radial crew neck releasing, which I didn't really like. We've got the cargo pant releasing, we've got the beaded keychain releasing. I'm more of a fan of the other two keychains, or the other keychain that's releasing this season over this one. We then have the Spitfire wheels, which is standard again. We've got the ribbon boucle camp cap coming out. Then we've got, I think this is actually the final tee, being the Masterpieces tee, which I actually liked a lot more than the Love by the Children tee, but it hasn't been received overall, like, in a great way. We then have the Nothing Else short sleeve top releasing, which I thought was actually okay in the end, but clearly not. We've got a truck releasing, which is standard. We've got the Rammelsy sweatpant coming out, and then we have a Stonewash slim jean, which is standard again. I thought that Supreme would do a lot more Rammelsy pieces, but we'll have to wait and see as to whether they do or don't during the season. We then have the Sacred unique long sleeve top, which didn't really do anything for me personally. We then got the Gore-Tex pant to match the jacket that is releasing, and again, I think that the two more vibrant colorways are going to go in this piece. We then have the ARC logo short sleeve work shirt, which I'm just not a fan of, just because of the fact that the text is over the stomach. It doesn't make a lot of sense personally. It should just be on the back, then it'd be simple. We then have the corduroy 6 panel coming out. Then we have a short sleeve pocket tee releasing, which is probably just quite standard. Then we have the shiny reversible puffy jacket, which I was not a fan of personally. We've got the washed regular jean coming out, which is standard again, just with a different colourway. We've got the Gore-Tex long bill camp cap, which I think if it was a normal camp cap it might be a bit better. I'm not too much of a fan of the long bill. We then have the reversed beanie coming out, which doesn't really do anything for me either. I'm a fan of a couple of the other beanies that are releasing this season. Like I said about the overdyed, there are just a couple of others that just do more for me. One of those is the New York beanie in the grey colourway, but I don't know whether or not I'm going to be going for that in the end. We've then got the loose fit jean. Moving on from there, we've got the license plate 6 panel, rigid slim jean, the work pant, the stonewash black slim jean. Then we move on to the last couple of pieces, which are just at the bottom of the list. One of them is the global standard long sleeve top. Then we've got the Jackyard linen crusher. We've got the patchwork short sleeve top. The easy, or lazy as I like to call it, short sleeve top. We have the velvet chore coat, the knit stripe short sleeve top, the Oxford shirt, the super advanced and mesh back 5 panel, the vertical stripe polo, and the logo plaid shirt. So quite a couple of pieces obviously I just talked about in a bit more detail, just because of the pure fact that they're the better pieces that are coming out for this season. But obviously there's a lot dropping this week. I believe there are around 76 or 77 items dropping this week, which is quite standard for that to happen. There might be a couple of more items added to this list either tonight or tomorrow, but I think that this is pretty much the list solidified. Personally for me, a couple of pieces grabbed my attention that I'll probably be going for, but in general there are more pieces that I'm just going to be waiting to come out, which will be more on the accessory side. And yeah, I don't think I'm going to pick as much up this season. I will still be doing the weekly sort of live cop videos, but there'll probably be more of me just going through what has dropped and the sellout of those pieces more than going for pieces. But yeah, that is going to cover this video. It's a bit of a long drop list, but I hope you enjoyed. As per norm, let me know down below what you're going to be going for, whether or not you got a text or whether or not you're able to sign up for the drop. Other than that, who is going down to the drop this week? I should probably, hopefully all things being well, go down to the drop in the morning and record, hopefully, because I never normally record being at a drop. But yeah, that is going to cover the video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time. Peace.